Hello YouTubers, welcome to another edition of Parkin's Gear. So here's the backstory. I received a gift card, or credit if you like, from my oldest sister, thank you very much, at Amazon. And so I wanted something to show for it. You know, I had a $200 credit. Now, I looked around at some pedals and things. I first looked at Strymon pedals. Forget it. They were just out of my price range. The closest one was the Cloudburst, which I already have, so that was out. And then I looked around and I saw another pedal I was interested in. But as I read up on it, well, it had presets, but no MIDI. No MIDI. Must have MIDI. The name of my cat, by the way. So that was one requirement that I wanted, was MIDI. In other words, you know, more than 4 or 8 presets. More like 128 presets would be more to my liking anyway. And my $200 limit, you know, that was going to be hard to fill. Second thing, well, it had to sound great. You know, it had to have a great sound. That was another thing. And of course, it had to fit the budget of $200. So I looked around, and quite frankly, I was looking around at some digital delay pedals, right? And, well, that's when I came across the Boss DD200 digital delay. It had 32-bit processing, 96 kilohertz signal path. It was full stereo. That was another requirement, right? 2 stereo, or 2 jacks in, 2 jacks out. Stereo in, stereo out. And that was definitely another requirement. And on top of that, this had some other functions. Besides 12 delay types, it also had a stereo looper, right? Or it can be a mono looper. And then I checked the price, and it had been discounted. It was originally $249, I think, but they got it down to $209. So I thought, okay, I'll use the gift card and, you know, spend the $9. And so that's what I did, you know. I found it kind of suspicious that, wow, it met all my criteria and the price was perfect. And strangely enough, it's a new pedal, but there's an older pedal which is kind of the flagship. And so I immediately, you know, made the comparison of it, which is the flagship series, though it's older. And this pedal's a little less expensive. However, I made the big mistake of kind of dismissing it as a toy, a simplified version, right? Where they cut out all the, you know, the useful parts of the Boss DD500, repackaged it in the Boss DD200. You know, well, that was a big mistake on my part, because what I discovered is that it's anything but that. So first, let's take a look at the pedal. You can see it here. So there's the pedal. That's the Boss DD200. And notice that it has just that little tiny display there. Right there. You know. So pretty simple pedal. I mean, 2 foot switches and then some knobs and some buttons and things. Okay? Now, as I read up on the pedal, I realized that it's actually quite straightforward as far as the pedal goes. And basically what they did is took out a lot of the programmability that you would find in the Boss DD500, right? But as a result, you get sounds right away that are very useful and sound great. Whereas on the Boss DD500, it would take quite a bit of menu diving and programmability, if you like. And it has 12 delay types, right? And a couple are not found in the Boss DD500. But beyond that, it has delay subdivisions, and they're really easily accessible just by hitting a switch. And in fact, I'll show you. A division is basically where you take something that's in time here, right? Subdivide it, we get a different rhythm, time-wise. And, of course, one of the most famous or most common subdivisions is the 8th note, and you can hear it here. Yeah, so you can hear it here, the kind of dotted 8th note type thing. It's immediately available right on the front of the pedal, right? Wow. And I noticed that there were Boss DD500 owners who wanted to do subdivisions kind of things. And I mean, basically had to kind of figure out calculate it basically. I mean, it's a real pain in the butt. Here it's immediately available. Okay? That's the first thing. I was still a little skeptical. Maybe this was a toy or something, because it seems so simple in comparison to the Boss DD500, which is really programmable. Here, not so much, you know. However, this is the thing, and I guess it depends on your mood. You know, if you're in the mood to go through and program each thing, you know, high cut or whatever, you know, so on and so on. Or you just want to dial up a sound and boom, there it is, and you can play, right? And that's what this pedal does. It basically simplifies things without skimping on sound. That's what I found really fantastic. Now, to be quite honest, when I first got it, I was like so skeptical that I thought of returning it. So I mean, I boxed this thing up so many times and then unboxed it just to try it one more time and give it a chance. And every time I found new sounds I thought were really amazing. Okay. And then you've got, as I mentioned, the subdivisions. Okay. Then you also have 100 presets. You know, now off the front of the pedal you've got 4. Yeah, okay. Right? But you can get, actually you can get more than that, but 128 actually. And these are user presets, so you can dial in a sound and save it and recall it later via MIDI. Or as I said, from the front panel as well. On top of that, it has a looper, 60-second looper. I thought, oh, well, you know, I didn't never use that. But actually, it's just so simple, just like the pedal, right? And, I mean, I can use it just so you can switch to different delay types. So you've got that, right? The looper, which I found really great, and man, the sound quality is just unbelievable. here's the thing. Just having it plugged in your board, and I don't know if it's just because of the JFET preamp thing in there. It just makes your whole pedal board sound so much better. I can honestly say, man, my pedal board never sounded better than when I have this pedal engaged. It does something to the sound which is just super, you know, a real nice, clear, modern kind of sound to it. So I finally decided, man, this pedal is really fantastic, you know, and it's just what you want. You know, I don't know, some days I prefer tweaking, you know, programming the sound for an hour, you know, to work on one preset, where sometimes I just want to play, be able to dial up sounds that sound great, you know, and not have to mess with it all that much. So as a result, I went about just creating some presets. So I started out with this one, which is just kind of a standard clean sound, you know. It's kind of created another one. Here you can hear the difference right away. Fourth preset, it's kind of extreme really, but you can hear it. When you consider that this pedal is about $200, now compare that to other pedals, and they're usually twice as much. The Strymon Timeline, the Boss DD500, which actually is going for less these days, because it's kind of an older pedal, quite frankly. And you add up exactly, you know, the 12 types of delays at this kind of sound quality, right? And you've got the subdivisions on each one, right? Which, believe me, if you have to do that on the Boss DD500, it's going to take you a while to figure out exactly the calculations and things. And the fact that you can see this pedal in beats per minute rather than just milliseconds makes a huge difference too for me. Then you've got the looper on top of that, and this JFET thing. And that's the thing, I would have never thought that this pedal would improve the sound of my other pedals, of my entire pedal board. Wow. All that for $200. So, as I started messing around with the pedal, I realized, oh my, this is not just a, scaled down version of the DD500 where the coolest sounds and features were omitted, basically a toy, a cheapo version. It wasn't any of those things. I was wrong, and the more I play with it, the more I realize, man, you get all of that, for $200. Pretty amazing. And I mean, there's tons of different kind of delays in there. You've got everything from dual delays, digital delay, pattern delay, analog delay, and so on and so on and so on. So, wow. And I mean, it's quite simple to dial in a sound, let's say I want just a tap delay, right? Just by twisting a knob, you can change things. Maybe turn down the decay a little bit. And let's try this one. And let's change the subdivisions here as well. Gives you a different kind of delay time. Save that as a preset, and or I mean, it could go to a different sound too. Of course, it's got the shimmer effect. Did that take to get that sound? Not very long at all. Compare that to dial up this sound on something like the DD500 would take quite a bit of time. Programming. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking the DD500. I'm just saying that this DD200 is not just a cheapo version of the DD500. That's not it at all. I think what it is same sound quality, which is unbelievable in a $200 pedal. I'm sorry. That's just amazing, really. And I mean, it just sounds unbelievable. You know, it's 32-bit, 96 kilohertz, I think it is. You know, in fact, I'm thinking of all my pedals, it probably sounds the best of all my pedals, and no joking. But what this pedal is just a way, it's simplified in the sense that you don't have to program it quite as much. It's basically a question of turning knobs. You know, without sacrificing quality. You know, very satisfying guitar-wise, playing-wise. You know, there's just not much to tweak, and yet the essentials are there for sure. I just can't imagine that guitar players would need more than what this pedal provides. You know, and then on top of that, you have the looper, which actually works really well, and it sounds great. A lot of fun too, and it's so simple. That's the thing. You know, and I mean, there's no question. You know, on a pedal like the DD500, you know, where there's layers, menus and things, easy to get lost, you know, as you're programming the sound. So yeah, I'm sold on this pedal, I'm telling you. No question, it's definitely going on my pedal board. You know, along with some other, you know, really expensive pedals. And yet I think it even sounds better. Alright, so let me just dial in some random sounds here. You know, and when I like a sound, I can save it as a preset. That's unbelievable. This one. This is still the shimmer effect, but just different. Wow. Now, this pedal has a few delay functions that are not in the DD500, and definitely one of those is this pad function. Let's hear that. And full disclosure, I don't have any of the MIDI things hooked up yet, right? Which will make it even simpler to use. Another strange one really is this one. It's a Terraform, I think it is. Yeah, Terraform. It's a I think that's what they call it, and that's a unique boss delay type. Let's hear it. So I mean, just by turning knobs, you know, you change the sound definitely. Again, you can change all kinds of timing things, subdivisions. Wow. And I mean, there's all kinds of different ones here, like the dual one, dual delay here. Right there, that's the dotted eighth note, and that sounded pretty cool. There we go. So I saved that sound. Pretty neat sounding, and the best part is, I mean, I can just take that sound and loop it right out from that pedal board, right? This kind of. extreme, of course, but it just shows you how quickly you can just dial in sounds and loop them and so on, see how they would sound and those kinds of things. And when you come across a sound you like, you can save it as a preset to recall later. Man, just blown away by this pedal, really. Especially for the price, and the sound quality is and the sound quality is really amazing as well. I mean, you can get one of these on Amazon for $200, and that's it. And really well thought out pedal. And see, that's the thing I was worried about. Is try to dial in a sound, they just give you this little crummy sounding, preset or that kind of thing. But that's not it at all. You can definitely dial in your own sound, but it's just very simplified, which is just what you want when you just want to bring up some sounds, You don't want to sit there and program, for an hour or whatever, right, to get one sound. No way. Especially when you just want to play. And the sound quality, again, is fantastic. I can't recommend this pedal highly enough, quite frankly. And I feel like a total, sap for for wanting to return it in the first place when I first got it, because everything I thought about it was wrong, and it turns out it's a freaking great pedal, and quite frankly, I mean, I still haven't discounted the DD500, but even if I had the DD500, I would still want the DD200 as well. They're different beasts, for sure. But this one, to be able to just dial in great sounds, in a minute or whatever, compared to, however long it takes to go through menus and choose different things. Whereas here, it's immediate. Twist the knob and you're done. And that makes it a ton of fun. Which is the whole point, I guess. Well, then, when you just want to play guitar and things, part of the reason why amps and things became so popular, because guitars would dial in their sound and it'd be right there every time. Well, this is the same kind of thing, same idea, if that makes sense. Any case, tons of fun, but never lacking in sound quality, and I'm blown away by that as well. So, this would be a pedal I'd highly recommend to just about anyone. Just because it's fun, intuitive, not too difficult, just twist knobs, that's it. And being able to save presets, do subdivisions, and have a looper on board as well is just crazy bargain, especially for the price. Alright, very good. See you next time. Okay, bye.